welcome to Fiber Arts, really terrific with Beyarnsay. Now everyone always asks me, Beyarnsay, what is your favorite thing to knit? Well, I think the more honest question is there anything I don't like to knit? And to be honest with y'all, I can't think of one thing. Matter of fact, now I think about it, the only thing that bothers me about knitting is when I come up with an idea and I need a male model, and my husband Earl, he won't volunteer. He tells me he's okay with doing hats and socks, but all that other stuff just makes him feel silly. So I thought I'd go online and look at pictures of knitters and people whose partners or family members volunteered to model their designs. Now, this first one hits really close to home. This looks like something my Aunt E. Merle wore. It's maybe a size or two too small, though. Goodness gracious. My granddaddy used to say that one day Aunt E. Merle would eat the world. But she had the diabetes real bad, and she died faster than Paula Dean's TV career. Weird funeral. They moved the coffin into the swimming pool-sized grave with a bulldozer. I mean, my aunt, not Paula. Now, this is a man. This man loves his wife so much. If only we could find a man like this, ladies. Look at the amount of detail. I love how the designer thought enough ahead to put some extra padding in the groin area. Now, who don't love condiments? Or donuts? This is making me hungry. Now, this was worn by Earl's mama. She was quite the looker when she was younger. But you know, gravity, it sets in, has its way with things, and her mams ended up near her danged old belly button. We used to tell her she looked utterly ridiculous. Well, everyone has seen this one. Look at how the designer included belt loops in the design and a pocket for your wallet. This one is very famous, but for a reason. Really nice butt, too. Now look, even pets can cooperate. This one must have been done by someone's pet rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Now for what I'm wearing the Lost in Time shawl by Joanna Lindahl. When I stopped another project, I had a little bit of mandala yarn left. It was the colorway Spirit. It only took me a couple of days to make it, and it looks complicated, but it's really pretty easy and oh so beautiful. Now, I was just recently traveling, y'all, and I had to go see them TSA people at the airport. Now, I ain't trying to say that they don't have good customer service skills, but I think the Taliban probably treats people better. Anyway, they gave me the hardest time about my knitting needles, but y'all know me, I'm nothing if not prepared. So I just happened to have a printed copy of their travel guidelines and showed them, y'all. I think that TSA agent did something to my yarn, though. 'Cause when I was flying, I had 3 skeins barf on me at the same time at 30,000 feet. Talk about a catastrophe. Keep an eye on them sneaky TSA agents, and TSA, keep your dang poor customer service hands off my yarn. My work in progress is a Saturday morning shawl by Kenya's Knits. I'm making it in mandala yarn in 2 complementary colorways. The pattern is supposed to remind y'all of watching Saturday morning cartoons with a bad TV antenna. Now, there was a section that the designer left for you to add your own little spark to it. For me, I threw in some things I love. It was set up to use stitch markers.
Danger is my middle name, so I took all the stitch markers out.
Well, now it's time for Beyarnsay's mailbag, where I respond to your burning questions, even if I don't understand them. This first one here is from Beth 2432. Beth asks, how did you and Earl meet? Well, what a lovely question. Now, for all you first-time listeners, Earl's my husband. Me and Earl have been together for 30 years, so that's good, but I've known him all my life. Now, we grew up in Cut and Shoot, but I moved to Conroe in my teens, and one day I went to a b-boy competition. For all my knitting friends who don't know what that is, that's a breakdancing contest. They were big back in the mid-'80s. Anyway, I went to the breakdancing contest, and Earl was there popping and locking, and Lord knows, you ain't never had no loving till you get with someone who can pop and lock. Then Earl ended his dance with, instead of spinning on his back, he spun on his stomach. Then he had a gut back then too. Apparently there ain't no bones there to protect you, so he ended up in the hospital that night. And I felt so bad for him I had to go visit him, and our love started from there. Our next email is from Cardio Jams for Saturday Girl. Cardio Jams for Saturday Girl wants to know, what gauge do you like to use when knitting? So, for all my old Beyarnsay's World watchers who may not knit, a gauge in knitting is how many stitches per inch. So the bigger the yarn, the bigger the needles. And you can't get as many stitches per inch. And all of these things have to be considered because they have an effect on the finished work. Now, it's like physics. Now, for Beyarnsay, the queen of yarndom, there is a time and a season for every yarn. And for every yarn, there is a purpose. So, to be honest, I don't have a favorite because I feel like having the brains and smarts to be able to figure out how to make the gauge work best. I think that's the best thing ever. Use your brain and your creativity is what I always say. Now, my completed work is the Metropolis Cow by Tiana's Fiber Arts. This was a knit-along I did with Willy Nilly Knits and my line brand Boogie Nights. I faded it with a plain black bulky yarn because I ran out of Boogie Nights. Earl calls his erectile dysfunction medicine Boogie Nights, so that's good. Oh, better take that part out, Cletus. Well, thank y'all for joining me for another episode of Fiber Arts Really Terrific with Beyarnsay. Please visit my top tick and faceplate, also Insta-Thing and Ravelry. New videos will be coming out often. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave comments. I will read them just like I did this time, even if I don't understand. And remember, the queen of all yarndom loves you. May you never drop a stitch, and may your yarn never barf. Bye-bye! Earl calls his erectile dysfunction medicine Boogie Nights.